Welcome back. Welcome back. Man, what a crazy time to be in crypto. Just when we thought we seen it all with 3 hours capital, Celsius, and now we have this FTX, SBF, the golden boy, golden child of crypto, fall from grace. And because of that, we seen a very crazy market yesterday, and today we seen a slight bounce. But I want to talk about Solana. If you ever watch my channel, you know that I'm a big believer in Solana and how I think it is the next Ethereum. And because of this FTX Alameda drama, do I think Solana can survive? I want to go through my thoughts. I want to go through the whole FTX scandal and what's going on with it, and my thoughts on if Solana can still take it to the next level, next bull run. So guys, let's get into it. If you find any of the content of any substance, if you learn anything, please give me a like. And if you like the content that I'm putting out, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when I come out with new content. So let's get into it. So what happened, man? So I'm gonna go through a timeline of FTX and what I believe happened and how we got to where we are right now. And then I want to get into Solana and see how that's gonna happen. See what can happen with their future. So basically, during the whole Celsius, 3 hours capital, that debacle, FTX was coming in and just scooping up everything, trying to buy and bid for all these other different companies. And we were thinking that they were solid as far as their books go. So, they started off by bailing out BlockFi for 240 million. Then they made a bid for Voyager. Then they had fundraising rounds for the recently Aptos, a layer 1 project that we talked about on this channel, as well as Sui. They raised 300 million for that. Then we should have probably, raised an eyebrow when the CEO, Sam Trebeko, resigned on August 24th of 2022. Then the president, Brett Harrison, he resigned on September 27th, 2022. Then on October 17th, 2022, FTX was probed by the Texas security regulators, saying that SBF set up a yield-bearing account on FTX US, despite listing his address as being located in the US. And this is a no-no. Then there was news that came out about the DCCA-PA draft bill regarding crypto regulation. And BitBoy on his channel was very passionate about SBF and what he was trying to do and his support for this bill. And looking into the bill and its contents, it looks like it was very just not pro decentralization. And crypto is built on decentralization. So BitBoy brought this up, and then that came to light. And already, the shine on SBF was starting to tarnish a little. After this, we have Coinbase stating that Alameda had 14.6 billion assets as of June 30th, 2022. However, much of it was in the FTT token issued by FTX, and both of these are owned by FBF. This article came out November 2nd, 2022. He basically created a token, used it as collateral to borrow again, and then use it to prop up his own balance sheet. That's the way I take it. Right after that news came out, the CoinDesk article came out. Then you had CZ of Binance saying that as part of his Binance exit from FTX equity last year, Binance received roughly 2.1 billion USD, equivalent in cash, and BUSD and FTT. But due to recent revelations, that CoinDesk article, that have come to light, we have decided to liquidate any remaining FTT on our books. That right there was sent on November 6, 2022. And right after that, bank run started. bank run commenced. And then what happened after that? People just basically, they didn't want to be caught up in the Celsius Voyager drama that happened and then they made a bank run. They was basically going to an FTX exchange, getting their stuff off of it. A lot of YouTubers, they were saying, hey, this is some concerning, you probably should do it. And people were following suit. And as a result, FTX, they know they didn't have all the funds to pay. They halted transactions, which is the biggest red flag. Then Binance comes in as a potential savior saying, you know what? We're going to sign a non-binding letter, and, our intent is maybe if everything is good, we'll try to buy it and everyone's assets will be safe. However, within 24 hours of that, CZ came out and said, no, thank you. And probably what he saw in those books or whatever he saw in the finances scared him and just said it was not a good investment, not a wise investment, and he decided to drop it. And right after that happened, the markets were in free fall. So what he says after they decided to pass on FTX, He said 2 biggest lessons. Never use a token you created as collateral. Number 2, don't borrow if you run a crypto business, and don't use capital efficiently. Have a large reserve. Binance has never used BNB for collateral, and we have never taken out debt or taken on debt. Right after this, we have November 9th, which was yesterday. U.S. Department is working with the SEC officials probing the turmoil surrounding SBF's FTX. Dominoes are falling. Today, SBF finally acknowledged everything that's going on, and he said basically, I'm sorry, that's the biggest thing. I effed up and should have done better. Also, I should have been communicating more very recently, transparently. My hands were tied due to the duration of the possible Binance deal. I wasn't particularly allowed to say much publicly, but of course, it's on me. That's why we all ended up here in the first place. So here's an update of how things are. So basically, he goes on to say that FTX International is what's impacted, and right now, FTX users are good to go. So according to this Wall Street Journal article, Alameda owed FTX about $10 billion, the person said. FTX extended loans to Alameda using money that customers had deposited on the exchange for trading purposes, a decision that SBF described as a poor judgment call. All in all, FTX has $16 billion in customer assets, according to the person. So FTX lent more than half of its customers' funds to its sister company, Alameda. So in a nutshell, FTX had $16 billion in customer assets, gave $10 billion to Alameda, who lost it all. Bad. Then, most recently, I have some friends that are involved in BlockFi, and they received this from BlockFi. And it said, we are shocked to the FTX and Alameda news. Given the lack of clarity on the situation, we are not able to operate business as usual. Until there is further clarity, we are limiting platform activity, including pausing client withdrawals as allowed under our terms. We shall share specifics as soon as possible. We request that clients not deposit to BlockFi wallet or interest accounts at this time. Not good. So yesterday, the markets were in free fall, but today there was a slight rally. And why was the rally? Why do you think it happened? It's because US, we got our CPI report, and it came in less hot than people expected. Came in at 0.4. So year over year, from October 2001 to October 2022, came in 0.4%. And because of that, people are estimating, or economists are estimating, that Jerome Powell and the Fed won't be as hawkish in December with their next hike rate, where it's projected to be 0.75. But because inflation's cooling, maybe, he'll be a bit dovish and be at 0.50, maybe even 0.25, who knows? But because of that, the market rallied, both stocks and crypto. So now, Solana. How is Solana intermingled with FTX? And it's a bad marriage, and I'm going to dig into it right now. What it means for the blockchain. So because of all that happened yesterday, Solana yesterday lost 40% of its value. Yesterday alone. Today it's rallied back, I think, over 30%. So we're back in the $17 range. But just last week, Solana was in the mid-30s per coin. Right now, Solana is at number 12. So fell out of the top 10, right below Polkadot. If we look at the 7-day chart, just to show you the price activity. So, we last week, they were about 34 bucks. Yesterday got as low as $13. And today we're around $17.84. So what's going to happen now? With no buyers of FTX, CZ pulled out, Binance pulled out, they have to pay their debts. Alameda has $292 million worth of SOL. They also have $863 million locked in SOL. The Epoch release was for the stake SOL was set for today. For some reason, users were unable to unstake. There's no clarity on that, but it should be released tomorrow or Saturday. All FTX and Alameda assets will have to be liquidated once bankruptcy is filed. And in order to do that, what they have to do, they have to sell SOL. That's where they have a lot of their assets, and that's going to have an impact on the price of SOL. Sell pressure is going to come. So we'll see what happens, and because of that, I think the price of SOL is going to be very volatile, and I can see it going down. And here's what I was talking about regarding the staked SOL and SOL that's set to be released. So, within a couple of days, I anticipate there'll be some pressure on the sale price of SOL. So we'll see what happens. So FTX, SBF, and Alameda, you can't name those three without mentioning Solana, since they were very, very big backers of the Solana blockchain. And because right now their names are not held in high standard, it's going to have a negative impact on Solana as well. Not to mention Solana doesn't have the best track record as far as outages go. And people in the space, if there's one tick about Solana, they always mention outages. This does not help their situation. And also in this past summer, there was something about the TVL being inflated and padded. There were the two brothers that would on Saber Finance. And basically, they claimed $7.5 billion in deposits. And what they were doing is they will build protocols that would stock dollars on top of dollars and kind of inflating the price. And that also impacted Solana's TVL, showing that it was higher than what it really was. So if we add all these things together, this negative press is not good for Solana. Then the pending selling pressure that I talked about that's set to be released on the market, the price will come down. So how do I feel about all of this? Do I still believe in the chain? If the price is going down, can it go to zero? A lot of things to think about. I feel pretty good about it. And it's because I believe in the chain. I'm going to tell you why. So daily active users on Solana as of last week, we have 515,000 daily active users. That's more than Cardano. That's more than Polkadot. As far as L1 chains, it's up there, especially during a bear market to have that much activity on the chain. That's very, very, very positive. Also, we have Google Cloud recently announced that they are going to bring Solana data onto the BigQuery platform. So a good partnership with Google, which is big. Also, we have Solana Mobile. The Saga phone, that's coming out. Helium is also on the blockchain. Then we have the Nitro DevNet that's officially been deployed. Then we have the Neon EVM that go live on the mainnet on 12/12/22, which would make it the first EVM on the Solana blockchain. So there are things happening still on the blockchain. Everything's going on during the bear market, but they're still working. There's still things happening. Also, NFT wise, if you look at the NFT sales during the last 7 days, Ethereum's number one with 112 million. And who's number two? 22 million is Solana. And the next closest is Immutable X, and you see the number, the big gap. Now, if we look at NFT marketplaces, we look at OpenSea, which is the top probably NFT marketplace. And weekly users, they have 115,000. And following in a close second, Magic Eden, Solana's NFT marketplace, 111.5. So very, very, very close. And you see the next competitor is not even close to those two. So that is positive. To continue on with what Solana has going on, in order to provide some context, let's look at Ethereum, which is the number one blockchain. Currently, Ethereum without Polygon as its L2 performs at 15 to 40 TPS. Versus Solana's proof of history is about 60,000 to 700 TPS. ETH 2.0, when it's fully developed, should be about 100,000 TPS. Recently, Solana had an event in which they demoed Fire Dancer, and it supported 1.2 million TPS, and it used a synthetic load resembling a Solana validator. So 1.2 million TPS. That's all I'm gonna say there. The market cap of Solana is 6.1 billion versus ETH market cap of 154 billion versus Cardano 12.5 billion. All of these are great chains, but if I just showed you what I just showed you with the activity on Solana, why is that market cap so low? Does it have room to grow? That's a question we have to ask ourselves. Based on everything that's going on with the chain, the future, if they can fix everything, can that market cap grow? And if the market cap grows, the price will grow, or rise rather. So market caps don't reflect the TPS, daily active users, NFT activity. And final, and to close things out, as part of something I didn't add before, Solana NFTs are now on Facebook and Instagram. But conclusion-wise, FTX, Celsius, Voyager, and maybe BlockFi shows the importance of not your keys, not your coins. If I can't stress anything enough is if you have some stuff on a centralized blockchain, or I'm sorry, not blockchain, but centralized exchange, get it off. You can use a hot wallet, cold wallet, but in order to be safe and have that peace of mind, I would suggest getting your stuff off of these exchanges. Also, I think Solana is already ETH 2.0 and better in my opinion, and it's still in beta. So it's in beta, and it should have time to work out the kinks and fix these outages and hopefully get out of this FUD with FTX. And the sky's the limit, in my opinion, for the chain. In my opinion, it's the closest competitor, Ethereum. And at some point, it can bypass Ethereum. It's just speculative, but that's how I think. If you're an investor, you're always looking towards the future, and you can't do what everyone else is doing. If you're doing what everyone else is doing, you're going to get the same results. But sometimes you got to think out of the box, When people are scared to invest in something, if you do your own research, you feel good about it, that's what you go with. You go with your gut, you go with your passion. Right now, I think the sales pressure is coming with all the bad news. I think that's coming up ahead. I'm waiting for Sol to hit anything under $10. Anything under $10, I'm backing up the truck and I'm buying. If everyone's scared, they think it's going to zero. Based on everything I just laid out, I don't think that's possible. But if it's under 10, I'm stacking, and come next bull run, we'll see if I was right or not. So I'm still a believer in Sol. So guys, it's crazy times out there. A lot of people being greedy, and these exchanges are being, everything's coming to light now. So like I said, not your keys, not your coins. If you buy stuff on these exchanges, get it off. That way, if something goes down, you're not exposed. So I hope you like the content. And if you do, please hit that like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and hit the notification bell if you are subscribed to be notified when I come out with new content. Stay safe, guys. And until next time, bye.